Welcome guys, playing more Sherlock Holmes today. The next case is the Kew Gardens, what is it? The Kew Gardens drama. So in the last case, I figured out that Crocker was the one who murdered Sir Eustace. I'm pretty sure it was him. And in this one, I think I saw a little bit of the beginning, just like record and do a audio test. He has to go to the botanical gardens in Kew. So yeah, let's start. Play case. Yeah. I keep saying if I want to replay it. I didn't play it before. It's just that the game, like the case before this, automatically goes into the new one. And when that loads a little, it thinks that you've already played it, but I haven't played it.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
I'm surprised Toby isn't bothered by the bees. If I were in that situation, I would be so bothered. Ugh. Ugh. Toby, how are you holding up?
Oh dear, Toby. I wasn't aware that you were Watson's new literary agent.
Oh, he chewed it up. That's so cute. Lady still there? Hello, hello. Do we get an achievement for looking at that every case? Okay. If we go to the mantle, I think we can get, yeah, an article from the last case. Mr. Holmes, I am writing to inform you that the affair at the Abbey Grange, which took place almost half a year ago now, still resonates deeply in high society and remains a subject of much gossip. This case's romantic background has attracted many suitors who show willing to shelter and take pity on Lady Brackenstall. But to this date, she still serves her sentence with her maid, Teresa, and has rejected all offers of help. To be truthful, I suspect that the true motivation of these suitors may well be related to Sir Eustace's title and money. What do you think, Holmes? Yeah, I think so. What's this? Yeah. I've only gotten the first case, the echo of the first case, and the one before. I keep missing the ones from the other cases. That's okay. Find a stolen plant from the last exhibition at Kew Gardens. Okay, so let's go.
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favor for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunn, he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry. We were not aware. The two of you were good friends?
He was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house?
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the colonial collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand.
Knowing this game, they're definitely connected. But the poor thing, no wonder his eyes are red. This entire garden, only 3 people work here? That's amazing. The upkeep is really good. Alright, let's investigate this.
The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
Do not touch.
Sounds like those only want to make people touch it.
Here is a list of the stolen plants. According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead.
Oh, there's blood. Hey.
Blood. This sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it. Someone fell violently against this sign, and they were injured in the clash. Most likely a head wound.
Oh.
The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here.
Again?
The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed.
Is there a fight?
The esconsson was breached near the handle. The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection Room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection.
Something else?
Soil. It should have come from a flower pot. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here.
Well, apparently there's more.
This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced. All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all.
Let me move out of the way so I can see better. Interesting. Huh. Got it. There we go.
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked? Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder? I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection Room.
Very interesting. Whoa. What is this plant?
These plants come from all the territories of the British Empire.
It's crazy. Oh. They look really cool.
Very strange. Half of the colonial collection is absent.
Huh.
These windows were perfectly cleaned. The smell is strong. It is a detergent. This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow. A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned.
Someone cleaned and emptied out only a part of the colonial collection. This is suspicious. Perhaps it was intended to conceal certain evidence. Montague Dune was trapped in the colonial collection room. He forced the door and died in a water lily greenhouse. Perform an autopsy on Montague Dune. The death is suspicious. Why had he forced the door of the colonial collection room? Why had someone cleaned and emptied the room? Was it a trap or a simple accident? Okay. Let's go perform an autopsy then.
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then.
First of all, Let us carry out an external examination. There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination, so that we can proceed with the autopsy. No redness, stings, or bruises. Nothing suspicious here. There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse. The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal. The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma. Now, let us examine the internal organs.
Oh, okay.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs.
This is weird.
The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs. The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs. The lungs are congested and edematous.
Oh, what is
The
that?
tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant. The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs. There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death. My suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
You mean
Yes, it is murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No. A few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building. I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
Okay, so it was a murder after all, not a heart attack. Montague Dunn, it's actually pronounced Dunn, not Dune. Montague Dunn inhaled a virulent vegetal poison that was intended to kill him. Montague Dunn was trapped in the Colonial Collection Room. Okay. After being trapped in the Colonial Collection Room by the killer, Montague Dunn was affected by inhaling a virulent vegetal poison. Interesting. Alright, let's go to Kew Gardens again. Let's speak to you, Hamish.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the Colonial Collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, Oh, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression. Great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
What is his lifestyle?
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say. He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
Any lethal plants?
tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Yeah, I want to talk to you. Okay. Relationship with your father.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only, for I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
Okay. Ms. White?
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah, at the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
Why does no one know about it?
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
That's fine. Okay. Red eyes, yeah. Yeah. Shaven cut. Aw. Still a young lad. Clean hands. Yep, hasn't done much gardening.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Okay, Miss White. Should be in here, he said. Alright. Anything suspicious? Oh? Oh?
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory. Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops of...
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
Toby! Let's go get Toby. Wait. Meet Miss Margaret White at the Seed House. A lot of stuff I didn't do yet. Let's go get Toby first. Are you looking at the lady?
Someone should take Toby for a walk. Have you found something interesting?
Oh.
Come on,
Guess not.
Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens. Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search.
It's probably the detergent, isn't it? Oh. It's not. Why is it all the way over here?
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found. This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
Let's talk to Miss White.
Locked.
Not anymore. Ooh. Alright, another puzzle. Whoa. Whoa. think I'm missing something that would help me open it.
Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
New plant species. The Kew Gardens team are pleased to announce the successful production of a new variety of barley, one that retains a complete resistance to the cold. They have named it the Siberian barley. Mr. Martin Hamish, the proud cultivator of the graft, will hold a press conference next Monday upon this very subject. That's it. That's it. That's not it. My dearest Margaret, following our last conversation, I believe it might be better if you vacate your position here at Kew Gardens. As you pointed out quite bluntly, you are no longer in need of my support. You are quite able to stand up for yourself in this world, as you say. Well, I give you back your freedom and wish you nothing but good luck. The breakup. What? I don't know.
Champagne. Montague Dunn had good taste. French wine. A remarkable vintage. A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
That's it? Oh. Oh, they stay up. Okay. Okay. My dear friend, please allow me to express my disappointment upon reading your last letter. I am paying you to defend me, not to accuse me. Kew Gardens is a royal institution. We are granted the great opportunity to travel the world and to save the most extraordinary, precious, and rare species of plant. Our duty is to protect such species, and from those who might wish to use them for a dubious purpose. This divine syndicate of whom you speak of have no right to hold such precious plants. Remember the case of June 14th, 1889. So I must respectfully ask you once again to notarize the permissions on these plans on behalf of Kew Gardens. The documents were sent to you on Monday. See you in Bodles on Tuesday, as always. Montague Dunn. Mr. Dunn, we must ask you for the last time for the return of our dear sisters. You do not have any right to hold them imprisoned. They do not belong to you. Your so-called permissions are wholly false. You were hiding behind lies. The lie, we need not elaborate, that the case was reported in the press as the case of June 14th, 1889. What you have done is quite abhorrent. Be very sure that we shall never abandon our family members. We trusted you and regret having done so. The Divine Syndicate. What the freak?
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
Debt of Miss Margaret White to Mr. Montague Dunn, rental of a suite of rooms at Oxford Street, an educational scholarship at the London University, credits opened at Hamilton, Radican House Tailors, and at Bard & Sons Luxury Jewelers. Wow. The money that Montague Dunn regularly gave to Miss White far exceeded the needs of a student. Montague Dunn wanted to fire Miss White. Miss White and Mr. Dunn had a recent disagreement. Montague Dunn was planning to release Miss White from her position at Kew Gardens.
Colonial Collection. Water Lily Greenhouse. Nursery. Director's Office, Cloakroom and Laboratory. Reserve. Dry Tropics.
Oh, that's where she is.
Seed House. Ventilation System.
Alright. Okay.
A thesis written by Martin Hamish. A glasses case. It is empty. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office. These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
That's it. Am I done?
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was directing, but it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens. This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition.
I would not have known to open this window. That was totally by accident. No, leave it open. Yeah, let's leave it open. See what it does. There you are.
Look, Holmes, this charming lady must be Miss White. She's entering the seed house.
There is a smell of burning.
What is she doing? Put that fire out.
This symbol is from the Divine Syndicate. A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the Colonial Collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material. A protective mask. Someone set it alight, but it did not burn. the remains of a picture frame. A broom handle was half burned. The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned.
Let's go talk to her. What the heck was she doing?
Open.
Go. Oh no, you're stuck. Okay.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir. And good day to you, too. But
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
How do you forget about that?
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
I want to know this.
How
Dive
well
right
did
in.
you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Okay. Why does no one know about the missing colonial plants?
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious.
Miss Margaret White is a beautiful young lady who appears moderately healthy. Nevertheless, her hand can be seen marked by tiny brown dots. These were caused by pellagra, a condition that emerges after a prolonged period of malnutrition. They reveal that her childhood was a poor and unhappy one. However, the signs of wealth that we see now clearly indicate a significant change in her life. Albert Dunn is a nervous and anxious young man, clearly evident by his bitten fingernails. He uses a quantity of detergent with which to clean his hands, which is a poor decision seeing as he handles plants and soil. His eyes are red. He has been weeping very recently. His age tells us that he is still at university. He's good looking, unmarried, and probably still lives with his mother. Martin Hamish is unmarried. His hands and nails resemble those of a gardener. They are dirty and swollen. He is short-sighted, wearing bifocals to correct his vision. He is very plain. He works hard to the point of neglecting his appearance, and it is sadly unlikely that he has any male companion. He lives alone. Okay. What else do we need to do now? Find the stolen plants. Find the plant that was used to kill Mr. Montague Dunn. Find out who killed. Okay, so I need to look at the other buildings.
A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
Move, Watson, move! Oh my goodness. Go in here.
Dry tropics.
Whoa! This is so cool.
These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for exhibition purposes.
Even the music's changing.
The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
Can I talk to you?
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And why, he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Okay, what place haven't I been to yet? Watson, you're always in my way. I went there. There's an object of interest there. I went there.
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes. A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory. I don't hear anything.
Put it in.
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of Communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
Next one.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
I feel like Margaret wasn't really getting anywhere with her research. Like she hit a standstill, and Martin Hamish knew something that would have helped her, and she tried to take his information.
Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments. A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert.
Oh, he has to repeat a year. That sucks.
Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
No room shall be locked to us. Oh, one of these again. I like these. Okay. Lining up with this. Switch. Switch. Ooh. There we go.
Open. Martin Hamish's locker. A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
Mr. General Secretary, recent events unfolding at Kew Gardens obliged me to renew my applications for the management position. As I have stated already in my previous letters, I believe that no one is better suited for the post. While Mr. Montague Dunn was alive, I understood your reservation to my suggestion. Your reasons were political, so I was happy to comply. But now the Kew Gardens lie in disorder. How can I stand by and allow it? How can I leave them in the hands of inexperienced people with no motivation? I must urge you to cast your decision as a matter of urgency, so that I may devote myself entirely to the noble task ahead, and free my mind from this uncertainty.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting. Father and I, Kew Gardens. Albert's locker. Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea. A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
Sir, it is my regret to inform you that despite your excellent results within our entry examinations, we are unable to invite you into the Royal Navy School. Your father, Mr. Montague Dunn, has expressed his intention to entrust to you the directorship of the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew, and it is clear that he would not release you for an entire year of naval training. Please accept all our wishes from your future at Kew Gardens. Yours very faithfully, J.M. Lemerchand, Director of the Royal Navy Training Center.
A picture of Miss White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
Miss White's locker. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student.
Whoa.
These jewels must be worth a small fortune. A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
Margaret, we were surprised to receive your letter. How could you think to ask us for money after all these years that have passed since you left, and without any thought of us? You have never shared with us any detail of your success at the university, but you choose to do so now. We suppose you must be ashamed of us, for we are not from the same high class as your new friends. Yes, we are modest people, but you should learn to put your family first, as we at home have always done. And none of us have ever compromised your reputation, as it appears you already have with your employer, Mr. Dunn. No, Margaret, it is you who makes us feel ashamed. Dear Margaret, I know how your financial troubles are overwhelming you at this present time. Please let me reassure you that I could not permit you to remain in such a dilemma. I was born of a wealthy family. I would consider it an honor if you might accept my help. Your devoted servant, Albert. Yeah, I think Margaret's playing everybody.
A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Miss White's family refused to assist her financially with her studies. They disliked Montague Dunn, believing him to be a libertine. Albert Dunn had promised to continue his family's support. The money that this one? Margaret White's studies and social situation were completely dependent upon Montague Dunn's wealth. Yeah. What else? Find the stolen plants. Well, we still have to look for the archives and have to analyze these. Okay, let's talk to Albert Dunn.